What up? Is the music too loud? I can turn it down if I need to. Is that better? Sounds good. Or did I turn it down too low then? Or is it straight? Alright. So today it's probably going to be short. I already think I know what's wrong with this, which is why I ordered one of these. But I've actually never swapped one of these before, so we're going to find out, you know, if it is the issue and if, you know, if we can fix it. Why are we doing this? I don't know, man. I like to fix stuff. I got this for $6. And it had a bad motherboard, but I had a bad system that had a motherboard on it, so I moved it into here, and it still didn't work. So that's why I think it's the screen. I've already opened this one up. Still doing the same issue, though, so I know the motherboard is fine, but we're going to test some other things just to be safe. But, to these Wii U gamepads, man, if you just have one laying around, you can actually, like, what's the word I'm looking for? You can, like, soft mod them, right? And put, like, homebrew. That's what I'm looking for. Homebrew stuff. And you can actually make it just, like, a really nice... Jailbreak. That's correct. Yeah. So you can actually, like, jailbreak this and turn it into, like, a really wicked, portable, you know, DS, essentially, or a Game Boy or whatever, you know, because it'll turn into, like, an emulation station. But, I mean, you can literally make this a giant handheld portable. So they're still really useful, especially if you have one laying around and you don't have any intention to play the Wii U anymore. I picked this one up for really cheap with the intention of like jailbreaking it, put a bunch of Game Boy games or something, and maybe throw it in my car in case my daughter forgets her Switch or something like that. And we can watch shit on it or play shit on it in the car. So yeah, it's still one of the neater systems out there, man. With like as far as like mod potential goes, I'm not crazy about the Wii. I'm not crazy about the Wii U. Those are two consoles that were kind of like a miss on me. I know Lauren kind of likes Mario Party and shit, but you know, the one on the Switch is like significantly better. The only reason I even have a Wii anymore is so that I can run Crystal Bears and Pets Cats 2. So obviously the library is fucking stellar. But we'll go ahead and get started. This is what it does. So, as you can see, it's plugged in. The light's on here. So, that blue light that fades into orange, that's good. That's what it's supposed to do. And you notice that when I do this, nothing is changing. And I think that's because the screen is technically on. It's just dead. So, I turn it off again. We get this light. We hit this blue. It'll fade into orange. That's good. That means that the system's working. And when I do that, you can almost hear like a faint buzzing. So I think that's what's wrong with it. Obviously, if I unplug it and I try to do it, we'll reset it really fast. That orange light usually means that it's charging. It might not have enough battery. It could be a bad battery as well. Could be those two things in conjunction with one another. But we'll find out, right? Like, that's kind of what we're about to do. One thing, though, that is worth mentioning, if you don't, or if you're going to buy one of these, pick up one of these from Console 5. I think it cost me like $3 to get these 3 tri-wing screwdrivers. If you don't have tri-wings, they look like this. They're like, it's a 3-point kind of thing. I don't know if you can really see, but for what it's worth, the screen replacement that I ordered actually came with a set of them, and this one's like really fine tipped. You can see, look how thin that is. So you will need these. But you might already have tri-wing screwdrivers, because there's a lot of like systems and shit that use tri-wing screwdrivers, like Game Boy Color, for instance, uses a tri-wing. Ryudo Katsu, what's going on, everybody? Appreciate all y'all joining me for this simple repair stream. Hopefully it'll be a good time. Let's one thing I wanted to check really quick. Alrighty. Beyond the Beyond After? I don't know yet. I have to eat dinner and all that good stuff. So if anything, I'll be taking a break and then maybe I'll stream again tonight, but it's looking like a no. It's looking like a no over here, guys. I was just informed that it's probably a no. Okay. Anyways, so you guys saw what it does. It looks like it's working how it's supposed to, and it just doesn't. I think it's the... I put a verified good motherboard in here, so I know that it's not the motherboard. But I'll show you a couple things if you're having like power issues and stuff. I'll show you a couple things while we open it that you can address. But we'll go ahead and get started. One thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to pop off all of these. They're going to be covered with like a... I think I have one right over here. They're going to be covered with like one of these little black squares with adhesive on the back. Now, they're super hard to get back on because it's just an adhesive, and obviously if you take the adhesive off, it's never really going to be the same. But there's, I mean, outside of it looking prettier, I guess, there's not really any reason to keep it on there, so I chose to throw them all away. I just got done cracking open my original Xbox 360 wired. Oh yeah, hey, you know what? I opened up a TurboGrafx controller, and here, you know what? I'll get it for you so you can see just how yellowed it is. Excuse me, Yoshi. What did I do with it, I wonder? Babe, do you know where I put those little controllers that I just got recently?
There was a controller on the...
Oh no, that's a Kiwami. I already put that one. Damn, it's gonna drive me crazy. Means it's gotta be over here. Sorry, Yoshi. You can lay back down. Okay, so much shit I can't even keep track. Oh, here it is. It was looking right at me. Alright. Yeah, I don't know if you can see this. This is supposed to be white. See just like that level of yellowing. But when I open this up, I just wanted to clean the turbo contacts here because they were slide in really easy, which usually means that there's so much gunk in there that it's not making solid connection. There's no friction. So I opened it up and cleaned it out on the inside, and boy, it was so gross. It also uses a mini pin 8, or a mini DIN 8 rather. Stupid, but anyways, TurboGrafx, crazy system. That's what the but yeah, I mean, especially like PS3 controllers, Xbox 360, all that was kind of the era where people played games for like really prolonged periods of time, with like the Call of Duties and shit like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if some Xbox 360 controllers are more disgusting than even some of like the NES era, just because like the level of contact with your hands. Well, retro brighting's come a long way. So if you, especially with like a peroxide mixture, like if you do hydrogen peroxide and UV lights, weigh it down with stainless steel bolts kind of thing, it'll only take a couple of hours and you can restore it back to like the original white plastic. But man, it's a chore, and it does take time and takes an initial investment. But I'm considering getting at least a small setup just to do some controllers and stuff like that. It shouldn't, no. Alright, so once you take all these screws out, you're just gonna pop this bitch. Oh wait, I'm high. I'm high. We forgot something. Are you hungry? This will only take a little bit if you want to eat.
Yes.
Order something. You want my phone?
What you want?
I don't know. Look at stuff.
But what do you want?
I don't want anything. So look at something that sounds good and then think about it.
What do you want?
Okay. There are 2 Phillips screwdrivers right here. Heard you need like a hair salon quality stuff. Oh, for the peroxide? Yeah, you need like the dangerous kind. Yeah. Alright, so right here is going to be just your battery. You can use your fingernail or whatever, you just pop it out right there. And it just lifts out. Perfect. Slide all these screws back. No, this thing is actually pretty complicated inside. It's got a lot of bullshit going on. Oops. Yeah, so on the inside, this thing is actually, it's going to be connected with one cable right here, and that's just your, what connects your battery to your motherboard here. So you just pull that bad boy out, sit it to the side. But yeah, so this is your motherboard up here, right? This whole thing. And it's kind of consolidated. I mean, it's not huge, but it does a lot. And when you're taking it apart, especially if you're removing it and swapping it out, there's a lot of stuff to unplug. Everything over here, you don't have to put it out, it's not a big deal. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 different things to disconnect. That's a lot of them. But they're all fairly simple. Oh, I'm sorry. 13, 14. I didn't even count these. These are the screen ribbons right here. But it's actually not super... I mean, it's intimidating at first, but once you do it once, it's really not so bad. So we're just going to make sure that on all of these that you lift up. Some ribbon cables you just simply pull out.
Let me know if this doesn't cover your shipping costs at least, lol.
No, man, thank you. That's more than enough, dude. You didn't have to do all that. I appreciate it though. Fat man. Thank you so much for the $20 dono, my guy. So this is actually it's a mixture of the two. That's what you're looking at. So you got a lot of text, obviously, indicating what everything is, but you got a lot of small capacitors, transistors, a lot of vias. There's a lot going on in a small amount of space here. Wish I could get a more... My camera's not amazing, so we'll see if we can... or at least it's not. The way that it's mounted is not amazing. So it's gonna struggle to focus on all of this detail up here, but alright, well, again, yeah, so on these ribbon cables, you want to make sure that you lift these little tabs up. Some ribbon cables simply pull out, like you just yank them out, and this is not one of these times, so just be aware of that while you're doing it. Even like these, so these ones over here, I'll show you, are a little tricky. There's 2 of them, I think, on this board. You see it right here. This one actually comes up from this side. The opposite side that the cable goes in. You see that? Popped up. Oh, that little guy. Now these ribbons are notoriously like one of the worst ribbons to have to put back together. It sucks. So I'm gonna pull it out with this. And as you can see here, let's see if we can get a good look at it. See how it's shaped? See how it's got kind of got like almost that hammerhead top right there? That has to get, there's like two little, that's not gonna focus well enough. There's like two little grooves on either side right below where that hammerhead shape is. And you got to get all of that back in there with like no surface area to work with. It's a super pain in the ass. It's a super, the Game Gear hasn't come in yet. As soon as it does, we'll work on that for sure. I'm excited about that. I've never worked on a Game Gear. So again, we'll pull all these out. We'll do the ribbon cables first. I don't really have an amazing way to get these. I'll show you these here in a minute. So I'm going to show you what I do. Some of them are kind of a pain in the ass, especially these over here by the these. There's one on either side. There's like no area to work with, so they're kind of a pain in the butt to get out. So once you have these, try to put them to the side because they're gonna get stuck under the board when you go to put the board back a little bit later on. It happens to me every time. So pull these out. So the only thing we have left, it should be these. Now again, this is one of the ones you flip up from the opposite side. Did you think about what you want to eat, baby? So what do you want? That one pops right out. Now this one is a simple one. Let's pull that bad boy out. Alright, so the way that I do these are both the Game Gears borked. Actually, only one of them's broken. The other one works fine. So I just push with this and then kind of wiggle and it'll pop out. Now it's not pretty. It makes me nervous, but I mean there's not really a great way to get those out just because of where they're positioned. But that should be that. Now there are screws on here. There should be 5. I only have 3 in here because I knew I'd be taking this thing back apart. But make sure that you take all the screws out. Otherwise you'll be yanking on it and not realizing why it's coming forward. Oh, before we do that though, I have to show you something here. So these, right, this square piece and this square piece, they're both, these are actual connectors. Now underneath there's going to be like a small connector here and then a good bit of adhesive up here. So if you are removing this, they're not part of the motherboard. So they stay in the console. So as you're pulling it off, you'll hear that kind of like the tearing of adhesive. And it's alarming, but don't worry. I mean, you're not actually breaking anything. But if you really wanted to, you can like take a look underneath and see where the like the connectors are, so that you know that you're tugging on the correct side, that you're not bending the connectors. But I'm just gonna pop this under here to assist. Kind of lightly shake it back and forth. There you go. So there's your adhesive strip. I'm gonna pull the shoulder buttons out here. Again, same thing. You can see where some of the adhesive came off. But once you have all that, I think that looks good. Just finish the screws, and you're ready to rock. Now, I've seen this chip right here, U8, this really, really tiny one. That is a small chip. U8, you can see right there. That's actually your power. That's where a lot of your power is distributed. And if you're ever having an issue where your motherboard's just not powering on whatsoever, even when it's plugged in, then reseating that chip or like reflowing solder or whatever sometimes helps. Now the amount of work that's required, I think a replacement one of these is like 20 bucks. I don't think it's really worth your time to reseat that entire chip or buy a new chip or whatever when you can get a motherboard for significantly cheaper. Now one thing though to keep, this is very important. When it comes to these motherboards, they're region locked. So the Wii U itself has a region lock chip in it. This motherboard also has a region lock chip in it. So both of the systems are independently region locked. So in order, let's say that you went to Japan and you bought a Wii U and you came to America and it was broken and you ordered a replacement board from an American shop or whatever, it wouldn't work. It would it would just be region lock. So you have to make sure that if you have a UK or Japanese or whatever system, that you're ordering the correct one. Make sure you check the fine print on the retailer. It's weird that I think it was the Wii had like virtually no region lock. And then moving to the Wii U, it had 2 different iterations of region lock between the GamePad and the system itself. Why region lock your console when you can do it? Yeah, exactly. I know it's crazy because it's like, let's say you got past the Wii region lock on some bullshit, and then your controller was like, nah, no thanks. What's going on, Link 400? How you doing? So yeah, we'll, I think that's all the screws. Yeah, it should be. Just gonna go ahead and lift this thing ever so slightly, and boom, there's your motherboard. It's a really neat looking motherboard. A lot of, lots of tiny little capacitors and resistors and all kinds of cool stuff on here. A lot of stuff fit into a really thin amount of real estate here. It's pretty neat. Yeah, there you go. Pretty cool. But we're actually going to work on the screen here. So this is your, can't remember which is which. One of these will be Bluetooth, and the other will be... Regardless, in order to get the screen out now, what we're going to have to do is unthread, you see this little black cable here? Just untuck it from there. Push it to the side. You're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver, a very small one. Make sure you kind of get this stuff out of the way. And you're just going to take off some screws from the sides here. Oh, looks like we lost a... Oh, yeah, this must be the... Yeah. Cool. That's fine. We'll address that when we get back to it. So we gotta take all of this gray mount right here. We're gonna remove it. Are you a Nintendo repair guy? Not exactly. I just like to see if I can fix stuff I get for cheap on eBay. Worst case scenario, I don't, and I'm only out like 10 or 15 bucks, and I have parts for the next one. Or I do get to fix it, and then I accumulate a lot of consoles that work, and I am impressed with myself. And that pleases me. You would be super surprised. Like, I'm not a pro by any stretch. You know, if you want to watch, you know, a pro at work, you can go to like some of the gods like Voltar or iFix Retro or Dragon Horde, those guys on their YouTube channels and such. They're the top of the line. I'm just more in the novice amateur area, but you'd really be surprised at like how much stuff that you're capable of fixing if you're just brave enough to open it up. It's intimidating and like overwhelming at first, but especially like a good thing to start with is like PlayStation controllers or whatever. And you know, like you'll open it up and see kind of how everything works, clean it out. Like if you have analog drift or whatever, you know, you'd be surprised at like what you're capable of tackling on your own. So, I would definitely, I would definitely, you know, maybe consider it, especially if it's, you know, you're either gonna have to buy a new one or ship it to some, you know, might as well try to fix it. You know, you'd be surprised what you can accomplish if you're brave enough to open it up. So I think that's, oh, we're a little snagged over here still. I don't want to yank anything out. Let me make sure that it's completely unmounted. These things are kind of getting in the way. Cool. So that is that. I want to make sure that this white cable over here is no longer, there we go, nice. So here is, I'm just going to give it a little tug from this ribbon cable here, which is pretty firm ribbon cable. Here is our, oh, look at my, hey dude, look at it, look at the side of my cut. My girlfriend's not impressed. So I have a replacement here that I ordered online, and it says that it should fit, but we're gonna find out. Oh, the music paused. It came from Thomson Tech. I ordered it off Amazon, 20 bucks. It came in the next day. So if it looks like dog shit, or if it doesn't work, here we go. But if it does, here we go. Alternatively, Console 5 is like the best website to go for anything mod or capacitor or small parts, especially for retro systems and stuff. So, but we'll open this bad boy up and we'll see what we can accomplish here. Definitely has a different looking backing. Looks like it's coming up in 2 parts. I assume that this is like a protector, screen protector. Oh, you know what? This must be, yeah, this must be the backlight or something because it has its own designated ribbon cable. We're gonna find out. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Someone looking fresh. I appreciate it. I did just get my hair cut, so it's like, yeah, it's not a big deal. But I'm gonna see if I can separate this one that's currently on there. Huh. Guess it just comes in 2 parts when you order it. Not a big deal. So you'll notice that here is one of the ribbon cables that we took out earlier. It's the one that goes on this right side. So 3 total for the screen. Underneath, so you see like on the back here, you have these circles. This does too. It's just covered up by this mesh. You can kind of see some of the indentations there. But we'll put that bad boy to the side real fast. Let me see if I can figure out the process. I guess you would take this off, put this screen on. I'm just gonna make sure that I do it correctly. So I'm gonna use this one as kind of a rough guess. So the fact that that is bent this way makes me think that it should sit on like that. So this is the screen that's the side that's glossed over. Oh, they both are. Oh, it has an adhesive. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to, here, I'll move this so you can see. I'm going to take the new screen and remove this. Now, don't be afraid to screw, especially with screens, people get really freaked out. I've screwed up and smudged up a handful of screens on a Nomad, a Turbo Express, a Game Boy Color. Just get a microfiber towel, lightly wipe at it, and you should be able to get most of those hand oils off. Alternatively, just like wear some gloves or something. But even some like latex gloves kind of have a residue that they'll leave behind. So, you know, don't be worried if you see a smudge or whatever. Your life's not over. That was so satisfying. I'm getting all this off so I can lay this down. Oh yeah, it's super sticky. We're just gonna kind of make it sit flush here. Now remember, I've never done this before, so we're all learning. I would say that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Now we'll go ahead and pull this top layer off. Oh, I know you guys are digging that. Oh, I screwed it up. I'm so sorry. The visual ASMR tag that I've used for years is finally in this moment actually legitimate. We did it. Alright, so we're just gonna pop this bad boy back in. Wait, right? Black side. Yes, that's correct. Okay, cool. So we're gonna slide this bad boy in, just the same way we pulled the last one out. Make sure we're not meeting any obstructions, especially like these huge Molexes on the side. Oh, I'm sorry, kind of out of view. We just popped it back in, literally just dropped it. Make sure all this fits. Don't be afraid to give it a little push. Looks like it has these two metal retainers on the side that make it really like firmly fit into place. Like that feels like it's in there very well. A little push. Make sure it looks decent on the front side. Oh shoot. And that's why we check. We did snag a poor little ribbon cable in there. Check the front again. We got another ribbon cable in there. This is why you check. Alrighty. This side wants to go back in. Watch. We got it this time. Don't worry. Cool. Now, like I said, I'm a novice myself. Much better. I'm a novice myself. We're all learning. We're all learning together. So it looks like, you know, unfortunately, it's got like some trace lines around it. You can kind of see this border here. And this one had the same thing. It's just it's black, right? So it doesn't stand out as much. So that is a small gripe, but I mean, a screen's a screen, right? So we'll continue. See what we got going on here. So this went over like this. Make sure once again that the ribbon cables are out of the way. I think that's how it went. I did. I managed to smash literally every ribbon cable, but hey, that's why I give the disclaimer. I'm not a professional. We're just here working on our own stuff. Seeing what kind of cool shit we can come up with, right? So it is worth mentioning that this ribbon cable here at the top is where the two ribbon cables from the screen need to come through. So we're just gonna give this guy a little help. Hopefully we can pull him out. Nice. Looks like we. So now we can just lightly move this stuff. Make sure I got all these stray cords and everything before I sit it down all the way. Let's get this guy out of here. Perfect. Alright. Took a couple of tries, but we got there. Cool beans. Alright, so now it looks like we just take these small Phillip head screws and put this bad boy back. And yeah, this is what was wrong with the pad to begin with. I tested the motherboard at first because I had a replacement motherboard, and I put a working motherboard in there, one that I knew worked, and got the same issue. So I was able to rule out the motherboard right away. And I swapped it with a different Wii U gamepad that I had, just that I was actually working on for someone else that did need a new motherboard, which is why I had the extra on hand. And it worked fine, so which led me to believe that it's just the screen. So we didn't have to do any troubleshooting today. We're just doing a more simple screen swap here. And if it doesn't work, it was a $20 and $26 investment. Not super worried about it. Gives us something to work on future repair streams, but hopefully it does. Hopefully it does. Make sure that's all Gucci. These got good space. I want to make sure nothing's pinched. All right, everything checks out. We can worry about prettying this up and tucking it. Well, no, we want to do it before the motherboard. just because the motherboard will be resting on top. So again, this little black cord, he just kind of went like this. One thing that's really good advice, and I learned from working on arcade games and stuff over time, is if you're worried, take pictures. It's that easy. You'll actually notice, if I have my phone, I don't know what to do with it, but I have a lot of times, like I recently recapped and put an LCD mod in a Turbo Express. I actually like just finished that before I went live today. And when I was doing that, the first thing I did was I took a lot of pictures just so I knew how everything went, just in case, that way I could verify it, because I had the schematics up and everything, so I knew like the polarity of the caps and which way they should be going. But just in case, once you're done and you have everything in front of you, you can compare with pictures. And man, it makes it so nice, especially if you're worried about like different colored wires going different places, things like that. Cannot stress it enough. Take a couple pictures. Worst case scenario, you don't need them, you delete them. Best case scenario is it saves the day. So, have you ever looked into pin tweezers? I haven't. Soldering wasn't something that I really got into until I started working where I work. So it's just something that it's really simple. I mean, if you think about it, like in theory, obviously it requires a little bit of practice, but you know, I'm not amazing at it, and even I can pull off, you know, most things. I'll tell you one thing about like this kind of stuff though, is having the correct tools matters a lot. So like if you are removing SMD caps, having a hot air station, a $40 hot air station, changes your life dramatically. It goes from a 2-hour job to a 30-minute job. You know, so sometimes it is as simple as just doing yourself a favor and getting some good tools that'll make the job a little easier. Alright, so right here is a huge pain in the butt because you obviously have so many cables you have to worry about pulling back through. Make sure this little guy, nice. Are we missing anything? I guess we'll find out once we try to sit it down and it won't sit flush. Oh, so we're getting a little snag action from this boy right here. Cool. Nice. Sitting down as it should, where it should. We'll go ahead and start with this one, just so that we get out of the way. Go ahead and fold this bad boy in here. Oh, looks like the lid closed. Remember, this is a flip-up lid. This is a new screen ribbon cable as well, so it's not been bent before. It doesn't have that natural curve to it. Goes in easy enough. Again, this one is the one to the immediate left of it is one of those ones I was warning you about where it actually opens up from the reverse side. Now these guys are a huge pain in the keister to pop in because they don't give you a whole lot of surface area to work with. So what I do is I kind of angle it in a way that, there you go, nice. Cool. So that guy went in there fairly well. This one over here, it's another one. Flip it up, goes in from the opposite side. We're actually going to do these first, because this will help kind of stabilize the board a little bit. Obviously, if you want to screw it back in, that would help stabilize the board as well. Just so that while you're trying to do these, it's still not moving around on you. Cool, we'll do this one next. That boy slide in there. And you'll usually feel it when the ribbon cable, and if you're not sure whether or not it went all the way in, just give it a light tug. If it's in all the way, it will not come out. If it's missing just a little bit, it'll slide right out, because ribbon cables are very particular about how they go in and how they lock into place. So sometimes you're like, oh, is that in all the way? Then you pop the piece down, give it a little shake, and you can immediately tell. Yeah. My girlfriend's over here cracking jokes. Did you order food?
No.
Homie, what are we gonna eat?
What do you mean, homie? What are we gonna eat? I don't know. It's a crisis.
Jesus. Oh, man. Alrighty. Someone's a mess. Anyways.
I'm super busy. I can't do it right now.
That's fine. That's fine. No rush. You were the one who was hungry, so...
I'm not busy.
I know you're not busy. You're playing Sims. Speaking of which, I don't know if any of you guys saw my dank tweet. There's actually like a Sims-based reality TV show that's coming out. Let's see if I can remember what it's called. It's like, you know, like Lego Masters, right? It's like Lego Masters, but with Sims. See if I can find it. Yeah, here it is. Here it is. It's called The Sims Sparked. Check it out. My girlfriend is super into The Sims. Super into it. Spent clocked a lot of hours in The Sims. So I'm personally excited for her. So it'll be a neat little show, even if it's cringy and awful. Alright, so I'm actually going to put these little screws back in before I do this little ribbon cable up here, simply because it'll help me not fumble around as much. But yeah, can you believe that? A Sims reality show. This truly is the future, guys. Gaming is taking over. I feel like we're in Gamer, the movie. Funded by EA? I actually don't know who funds it. I mean, that would make sense. You gotta pay like a $10 subscription just to watch it. Dude, I'm gonna watch it. I've personally seen, like, I've fucked with The Sims a little bit. And I built like a square house with like some wooden chairs and shit. And it was ugly and it was awful. And then I see like some of the stuff my girlfriend makes were like these really regal, royal, yeah, like mermaid palaces, like really modern houses, mansion. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. All right, how is Dark? Oh man, I love Dark. It's super good. We've I think we're on season 3 now, right, babe?
Yeah, I'm almost finished.
What? You watched it without me?
Oh, you and I have almost finished.
Oh, I was about to. Oh boy, I was about to throw hands right there. What does it have to? I would have ended the stream. Don't worry. But yeah, Dark is a super cool show. It's really, really neat. I've been enjoying the heck out of it. Alright, let's see if I can... get this bad boy in there. It's, we're watching it in German with English subtitles. I tried to watch it dubbed for like 20 minutes, and I was like, yo, this is not it. I was not a fan of the dub, personally. Oh, that one went in nice and easy. I want to say that's everything. Oh, you know what? We did forget. I personally forgot this bad boy. That's okay. It actually just kind of pops it right in. There you go. Like that. Cool. Now we'll just put these left. I believe this is the left. Yep. This is the right. I didn't clean up the wires here. This we probably still could, but if I can get this thing to close, it's a non-issue. The only thing is it might interfere with my ability to use this trigger. So we'll go ahead and pretty it up. Moving it over here. There's actually a spot right... Oh, sorry, I'm kind of out of shot. Where you can, if you want to, tuck some of these wires up under this little plastic ridge here. But whatever. We're just going to continue. We'll move on. We'll just compress them when we shut the case. Alright, but that's that. Let's go ahead and make sure that we reattach the little tiny connector that's in there. Otherwise, the battery will do no good. Seems I'm caught on something. Oh, yep, I see it right there. We do need to pretty up those wires. Now, there's a couple ways we can do it. First one is to kind of tuck them back in by sliding it like this. I should have tucked it back into the plastic. That was my fault. I totally forgot about it, and then once I realized it, I didn't want to go back and do it. So we should be able to... I don't want to use like a tipped screwdriver. Where's my flathead? There we go. These. That should be good. Let's try this again. Kind of want to do a... Oh, bummer. Oh, shoot. Let's see what we're squishing. Looks like it's right around there. So we'll readjust. Yeah, I really do hate this wire. It sucks. Looks like when this comes down, this guy came loose. Generally, you can just tuck these guys, but they are being a little bit of a pain in the rear right about now. Let's see if we can try it again. Let's see if I can identify what's... Oh, okay. There we go. So we should be able to simply screw it back down now. I just had to stick this in there and pop it real quick. Pop it like it's hot. So we'll put a few of these screws in, just on the off chance that it's not fixed. We can, you know, we don't have to undo all the screws again. It also did come with the oh, you know, maybe it's not up down all the way. Let me see. Oh, cool. All right. so that's probably enough. Let's slide the battery back in, and we'll see if we got it to work. I have to assume that the battery itself was, the screen itself was shorting out somewhere, which was causing the battery not charge. We're gonna find out. So we're gonna flip it over. As you can see, it now has a white outline on it. So, you know, if that's absolutely completely out of the question for you, then maybe order a different screen from someone else. Make sure that it has that black outline. So this is the same size, but as you can see, this one has a black trim around it. If you really wanted to get creative, you could probably peel this off and stick it on this one. I don't care that much. Alternatively, you can just get like some really thin, squishy material, like a little insulation. But yeah, actually, while we got this out, let's see if, oops, maybe this will come off. It looks like it's probably adhesive on there. Maybe. If you really cared enough, you'd probably take this screen protector off. Yeah, see. There you go. But you'd have to probably re-adhesive or glue it or something, because, you know, it's not meant to come off and go back on. But alright, let's see what we got. If it explodes or whatever. You know, keep in mind, this is my first time doing this. So we're gonna go ahead. Hey, would you look at that? We got it to work. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Obviously, it's not gonna find the switch or the Wii U. I'm sorry. Yeah. So, did I try reseating the screen? I did. Unfortunately, that was when I first pulled it open. I tried, you know, reseating the screen, couldn't get it to work. And in fact, I think that the screen was, I think there was something wrong with the screen, because it was causing the battery to not hold charge. So I think that it was probably grounding out somewhere or shorting out, which is rare. And it looks like it's in more or less decent shape, but I'll hang on to it. Maybe if it's something we want to take a look at in the future. But again, it was a $20 repair. And the only thing that I can really gripe about is this outline. So, yeah, I'm not upset. Not upset at all. That was a successful endeavor. We did it, guys. We did it. But, yeah. I mean, shoot, I don't really have anything else. That didn't take nearly as long as I thought it was going to. I'm going to give it a second while it's charging right here. Let me... Yep. See, and now that it's... So earlier, it was having a weird power issue where as soon as if I tried to turn it off, it wouldn't turn off. It would, I'd have to hold it in, wait for it to go black, back to orange. So we'll go ahead and package this up. I'm going to let it charge here for a second. And see if that solved both of our issues. Because if it only solved the screen issue, then that, you know, so be it. But if it also solves the battery issue, then we know that that screen was faulty and it was somewhere draining some current. Let's go ahead and clean our mess up here while we wait. Put our tools away nice. Create our trash pile. And let's see if this thing will come on its own. So yeah, can confirm that the battery being unable to hold charge was in fact related to the screen somehow, you know, leaching that power. Probably shorting out to ground. This is the first I've seen the screen and the light work, so that's cool. It's also worth mentioning that where I had it connected to charge, it was you could feel a lot of heat there, which usually is indicative of a short. It's shorting out somewhere. So cool. We did it. That's that.